What if his ambition takes him to North Carolina? Your ambition takes you to Atlanta, Georgia. What y'all doing in that relationship? How is that going to work? Because what I'm saying is ambitious people tend to be strong-willed in what they want, right?
For sure, yeah.
And so they, in their mindset, it's like, yo, like, okay, you doing what you doing, and I'm cool with that, but I'm going to holler at you later.
But he's as ambitious as I am in this scenario.
He's as ambitious as you are. So what I'm saying is
then I'm going to go to North Carolina.
You're going to go to North Carolina?
Yeah.
So how you going to be a billionaire if your opportunity is...
he's as ambitious as me.
But what if your opportunity is in Atlanta? Like physically and metaphorically, if your opportunity to become a billionaire is in Atlanta.
No, that's not... No, my opportunity to become a billionaire is with me.
But I'm using it metaphorically.
No, but it wouldn't be. Like, so metaphorically, right? Let's say there's this opportunity. This TV show's like, okay, we're going to hire you, but you have to be in Atlanta.
Yes.
And they're going to give me $10 million a year.
They're going to give you $10 million a year.
Right? That's just like literal example, right?
Okay.
And he's like, no, I have this opportunity over here, and it's $10 million a year.
Okay.
But I'm going to be over here. But we're already locked in. You know what I mean? I'm okay with, because at the end of the day, either way, this is going to be the billion.
Yeah. But what if his ambition is just not at that level yet? Let's say you got the 10 million.
And he got 100,000? No, come on, man. That's crazy.
But no, what I'm saying is, look, nah, you can't have it perfect. Yo. Welcome to another edition of the No Stingy Energy Podcast, where we got Toddy in the building. This is amazing. I've been following you on Instagram for the longest, loving the content, loving the vibe. You know, I actually got a chance to talk to you, instantly understood that you know what you're talking about when it comes to real estate investing, which is different because you got some gurus on YouTube and on Instagram that ain't really out here doing the business for real. So I appreciate that. But listen, my name is Byron, investor, real estate investor out of Houston, Texas, primarily focused on the wholesale space, do a little bit of creative finance, fix and flip, new construction, new to the build to rent space. Definitely excited about it. Also proud member of the Accelerator Program, where we help investors move further, faster. And today we got a special guest. And Toddy is in the building. What's going on, Toddy? You mind introducing yourself to the people who may not know?
Yes, thank you so much for having me. This is amazing, amazing studio.
No stingy energy.
Everything since I walked in, Southern hospitality. So
yes,
thank
indeed.
you. I really appreciate it. Like he said, my name is Toddy. I am known for virtual wholesaling, which is, I basically been making 10 to 50K from my living room.
Wow.
Wholesaling houses, never seeing properties for the last 3 years.
And is that per month?
Per month.
Wow.
Per month.
Nice.
Yep.
And so virtual wholesaling. So let's talk about that, right? Because a lot of people don't understand the general concept of what wholesaling is just in general. But then when you tack on virtual wholesaling, now it's like a whole new level of confusion. So let's go down to the basics. So what is wholesaling for the people who may not know?
So wholesaling is basically just in its literal form, it's selling contracts. So you're not selling houses, you're selling a contract to a house.
Gotcha.
And that's it. So if you own a property, you want $20,000, John would spend $30,000 on it. I could make $10,000 selling that contract for your house.
Absolutely. Love it. Love it. And so when you add that extra layer on it of virtual wholesaling, let's break that down. What is that?
Virtual wholesaling is everything you love about wholesaling without everything that you hate about wholesaling.
Interesting.
Yes.
So what does that mean?
So wholesaling typically is in your backyard. You're going to meet with sellers.
Yes.
You're going to go show that property to buyers.
Yes.
And it's a lot of you running around being in the mix. Especially for someone like me, a single mom with kids, that's virtually impossible.
Gotcha.
So virtual wholesaling, I'm doing the whole operation from my house.
Wow. From the phone.
From the phone, from the laptop and the cell phone. That's it.
Interesting. So let's talk about this. So you're virtually wholesaling, making 10 to 50K a month.
On average.
On average.
So I've had better months.
Absolutely. You had some 100Ks yet?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. I've had a couple. I've had a couple 100K plus months.
Wow. How did that feel?
It felt like I was in a movie.
Absolutely. So tell me this. A lot of people hear about wholesaling. And then you got the group who hear about it. They know that it's money there, but they quit. Yeah. Okay. Why do you feel like it worked for you and you weren't one of the people who was just talking about, yeah, I know it worked, but I just didn't get it done? What you think was that difference for you?
I definitely have the hustle that it takes. It's not an easy thing. I think that's the problem when you mention like these gurus, no credit, no money, no time spent. You're just going to make all this. That's just not reality. In reality, there's no way you're going to make $10, $50, $30, $100,000 without putting in some work. Yes. And I'm willing to work.
Willing to do the work.
Yeah.
I want to definitely dive into that work piece because a lot of people, don't understand all of the components it takes to really run a successful business. And what they don't understand also is that they think that they're going to get into this space and it's just going to be easy.
Don't get me wrong. You can get to a point where it's not a lot of hard work. Mm-hmm. But in the beginning, how are you ever going to hire someone to do something you never did? Absolutely. And that's the point I try to get across a lot to people or Instagram or my mentees or anyone. Like, you can't hire someone to do something that you've never done. Facts. One day you can have this automated wholesaling business where you're making a lot of money without having to do everything. But in reality, the reason people give up is because it is hard work in the beginning.
That's a fact.
It is.
So you mentioned virtual wholesaling. So what are the markets that you are virtually wholesaling in? What are some of those markets?
So my first virtual wholesale market was Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
It's a big cash flow market. So for people who might not know, a cash flow market is where you can buy a property for a really low amount of money, but your rent is more than 1% of the purchase price. In Cleveland, it's even more than 2%.
Damn.
So you could buy a house literally in Cleveland for $80,000. Yeah. And the rent could potentially be $1,400, $1,500. Whoa. Getting close to 2%.
Damn.
Yeah.
That is super dope. And so tell me this, let's break that down. 2% of the market value. Why do you think that market is that way? And why do you think that market is that way?
Well, it's the pockets. So the first thing is picking the right market, right? Okay. Then once you pick a market, you need to learn the market. Mm-hmm. There's going to be some areas of Cleveland where the rent is only like $550.
Gotcha.
And you might still buy the house for $60 or $80K. Gotcha. So you have to learn what areas demand the most rent and why. Okay, an area around a hospital that's trending and, people are doing some nice rehabs over there. People will be willing to pay more.
Why don't the people just buy the properties?
The people that live there? Yeah. Most of them either don't know or they can't afford it or they're working a job to where they just want to rent.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Yeah, but some people do own. There is people who buy duplexes and they live in one half and they sell the other. And sometimes a lot of those are motivated sellers because they realize that being a landlord is not what they wanted to do.
Gotcha. It's interesting that you say that because a lot of people, right, when they get into this business, they don't understand how to assess a market, even in their backyard. Mm-hmm. And so you're talking about virtually wholesaling. Yeah. How do you learn these markets if you're not in the backyard, really knowing this street yields this? What that study process look like?
So I'm gonna give you all of everything, right? I'm gonna give you all the game we know right here. Energy. No stingy energy. Yeah. I want to definitely deliver. I've never said all of this on a podcast or anything, so I want to give it all up. So the first thing is because after I picked Cleveland, my second one was St. Louis. Same reason. They're like twin sister markets. Okay. The things that I look for is, number one, the purchase price has to be low. So there needs to be something going on for under 100K. Gotcha. There needs to be some under 100K activity. Mm-hmm. Number two is what areas in the city are on the uptrend. So once you pick the market, you need to do the research. And it's so easy because you could do that research literally on YouTube. There's real estate agents that have these YouTube channels because what are they trying to do? Wow. Sell property, right? Absolutely. So if you type in buying houses in Cleveland, investing in Cleveland, moving to Cleveland, you're going to get so many YouTube videos from different agents literally spelling the market. So guess what? There's this guy in Cleveland. His name is James Wise. He has a brokerage called Holton Wise. And his main strategy is to sell properties to investors. His brokerage sells a lot of properties to investors. So this man has a whole YouTube channel breaking down the market. And I came across that because I just Googled investing in Cleveland. And it's simple stuff like that. Like the resources are all at our fingertips.
Wow.
But it's just having the thought process to think, where's this information? It's all on the internet. So now once you know, okay, these are the areas that are being gentrified.
Yes.
Right?
Ooh.
These are the areas that are on the uptick. And why are they on the uptick? Now you know that, right?
Gotcha.
Then the second thing I do is I look at neighborhood grade and crime maps because I want to know what areas of that uptrending area are dangerous because the tenants don't want to live there.
Facts.
So investors in turn don't want to buy there.
Wow.
So now I'm not getting deals under contract that nobody wants to buy.
Oh my God.
But I learned that through months of hard-learned experience. It wasn't like the first day I just knew all that.
So what made you say, I'm finna just figure this out?
Well, so originally I live in Vegas. So I was like, I'm going to wholesale in Vegas. And I got a dialer. I got a list. I started calling people. Everybody was cussing me out. Why would I sell my house out to one of you guys?
Yeah.
Everybody knew what was going on.
Yeah.
People knew their value. You know, people are buying Airbnbs for over ask.
Yeah.
You know, you can list your house. It's going to be a week on the market. So I was really ready to give up. And then, I was down bad. I was like, okay, maybe this is wholesaling thing doesn't work. But then I came across a YouTube video and it was talking about virtual wholesaling. And I saw, honestly, this is crazy, but the only reason I picked Ohio was because there was houses for $20,000. And I was like, if I can't wholesale a $20,000 house,
then I'm just a whole bro.
Then, yeah, it's me. And the third day calling people in Ohio, somebody said yes. Wow. And it was in the hood. I did the deal. Okay. But I learned a lot about people who invest in the hood and why they invest in the hood. And it needs to be dirt cheap. I sold that house for $27,000.
They made $7,000.
I made almost 15. I got under contract for 15.
Got you. Wow. Yeah. Why do people invest in the hood? What'd you say?
I would say that because the price is so cheap, they feel like they can cash flow a lot. But the funny thing is, I think a lot of people don't realize that with the prices being so cheap and the neighborhood being bad, the tenants that live there aren't always going to be the most reliable people to actually pay the rent. Gotcha. So that's actually why the seller wanted to sell, because it was a duplex. Nobody had paid rent for over a year and he couldn't get them out. Gotcha.
So he was a struggling landlord.
He was a struggling landlord.
Gotcha. So this is interesting because this is interesting because you went virtual, then you did the research to find out exactly how to master the market. Yep. And what made you, okay, so tell me this. When you were in Vegas and you were about to quit, why didn't you research that market? Because I'm pretty sure it has to be somebody doing something right there, or no?
So, okay, so there is people who wholesale in Vegas, right? Okay. And I did connect, it's funny, but I actually connected with Ryan Pineda, the guy that was working for him at the time. I actually connected with Ryan Pineda. Gotcha. And then I connected with Sean Bob, who was working for Ryan Pineda. And I talked to them, pretty extensively. And they were really nice. They were the only nice wholesalers in Vegas. Everybody else was like, give me the address. You shouldn't be doing deals. It was so dog eat dog. Number one, I was kind of scared. I'm like, okay, these people are crazy out here. But number two, it was like, I know Vegas, and my 2 weeks calling in Vegas, I called all of the areas that were on the rise. Gotcha. That were kind of hood, but on the rise. And I was getting nothing. Damn. I was getting absolutely nothing. Number two, or number three, I guess, is the people in Vegas have a lot of money to spend on marketing. I was a very small fish in like a ocean of sharks. Gotcha. Versus in Cleveland, there was people that weren't even text messaging at the time. Wow. Even I was able to actually compete in that market with my marketing.
So essentially you saying you found a market where you could be the big shot in that space.
Or even just a regular fish.
You just regular.
Even just a regular fish.
So tell me this. So for the people who are in markets, because there's a lot of people who are probably in markets where their wholesaler strategies just ain't gonna work.
All day.
No matter what they do.
So I have a mentee actually right now who's doing Houston, and she was like hell bent on doing Houston, and I'm like, don't do Houston from the beginning. The first thing in picking a virtual market that I teach is don't pick a major city.
Gotcha.
No Dallas Metro, no Houston, no Atlanta.
None of that.
New York, LA, Miami, it's done. Because there's already people who are spending $200,000 a month on PPC and SEO and stuff that you will never be able to afford.
Yeah.
So what is the point? So what you do is you go to places they're not very interested in, or you look at properties they're not really interested in. So what do most investors not buy? They don't buy 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom. Because they don't. So if you want to be in a major city, you need to start buying stuff that it's not really desirable. So if you go after that, but then who's your buyer, right? If those people aren't going to buy it, who's your buyer? Now you have to get even better at finding buyers who are just entering the market, who just started investing. And that's hard work. It's harder to find those buyers because if I say, Byron, I have this amazing deal, you're a seasoned investor, you're going to be like, that's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, it's 900 square feet, I'm not buying that. Yeah, that's a fact. But if I come to you with something you like, you're going to buy deals from me every month. Absolutely. But those new investors, they might buy one deal from you, and they're going to start learning being an investor, being a landlord. So you need more buyers if you're in a major metro, and you need to be finding deals that the big buyers don't like. Another hack is also if you are going to be using like pay-per-lead websites and stuff like that, you need to be doing it at times where those other investors aren't doing it. So like either late at night or on the weekend, you know, because they're kind of like a 9-to-5 business structure. So they're spending a lot of money on these leads, but only during business hours. So if you're like a 1 a.m. lurker like me, you might get something for $125. And that's where you can try to compete in these markets. And that's only, but why? Why? You just could go to a smaller market. You could go 30 minutes out.
Absolutely. Wow. That's amazing. And it's funny because you're dropping so many true gems, and a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people think to themselves, yeah, I'm going to start wholesaling, and I'm going to go to Dallas, or I'm going to go to Atlanta, or I'm going to go to Houston.
Atlanta is the worst one. You're in Metro Atlanta where rent is $3,800. And there's all these millionaires who are literally real estate investors. What's the point? You could go 40 minutes to Griffin, McDonough, Douglasville. There's DeKalb County. There's Gwinnett County.
Why do you think most people don't know that information, at least, just that basic?
Wow, that's a really good question. I think they probably don't know it because nobody's really giving it for free.
Yeah. You don't get that until you get past the paywall.
Yeah, you got to pay to play. And you got to play to win.
You got to play to win. So virtual wholesaling, all things virtual wholesaling. What I like is that you kept at it despite the fact you were in a situation where you wanted to quit when you were just in the Vegas market. How long were you in that Vegas market throwing blank, bad shot after bad shot, not winning, feeling defeated? How long were you in that space?
2 weeks.
Damn.
So look,
I'm out of here.
I moved fast. So when I started cold calling, I was cold calling like 6 to 8 hours a day, every day. And I'm waking up early and, you know, I'm just eating the frog, like they say.
Did you have a mentor?
Mm-mm.
Just getting it out of the mud. YouTube University.
YouTube.
You're like, they say how you can do it. Yeah. Man, I'm going to just do it.
If they're doing it, so like Instagram, you know, I'm on everybody's lives.
Yeah.
You know, I'm on Clubhouse.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm scraping together all the pieces of free games. So, you know, King Khan Wholesale to Millions.
Absolutely.
So he talked about virtual wholesaling. And that's the first person. He was calling someone in like North Carolina or something, and he didn't live there. And he said, he was talking about how he does it virtual. And I'm like, and with all due respect, he's amazing, but he had an accent. So I was like, if he can do it with an accent, why couldn't I do it? You know?
Because you got some good English.
I have good English. I speak, you know, even. I'm like, if he can do it, why can't I do it? I know enough sales to have these sales conversations.
Absolutely.
And I don't see, and I listen to hours of calls on YouTube. I'm talking about everybody's seller calls. I probably watched seller calls for like 3 days.
Wow.
And I'm like, all right, I got the conversation. It's just talking.
So you mastered the sales script. Then on top of that, you learn from all of the greats.
Yeah.
And then you just start putting everything in motion.
Yeah. So once I got it, I've listened to, I don't know, 32 hours of people on YouTube at this point having seller calls. Yeah. Everybody, you know. Yeah. Everybody's got calls. And then some people had free scripts. Yeah. Download a couple free scripts. Got a little free trial of lists over here. got a dialer over here and just start calling. So Vegas 2 weeks. I got discouraged, and I know myself. If it's not the path of least resistance, I'm not going to continue to do it. Like, we all want to win. I tried to play basketball when I was in middle school.
Oh, wow.
And I sucked. And these girls were like all over the court, and I couldn't even keep up. So I didn't want to play basketball if I sucked. Nobody wants to do something they're not good at.
Absolutely.
But then, I have things that I excel at that other people don't. And those are the things that I want to keep doing and getting better at. So I'm like, this Vegas thing is not going to work for me. I even put out a couple bandit signs.
Wow.
And someone from the HOA drove by and told me I couldn't do it.
Wow.
So I started Cleveland, did the same thing, got the list, started calling, and I got 6 deals in my first month.
Wow.
Yep.
You mentioned that, so before you were doing wholesaling, you were doing, what was that?
I was a waitress.
Okay. And so one thing I do like about the fact that you say that you was a waitress is that you did get a chance to get some sales skills, because waitressing is kind of sales in a little bit, right?
So I did timeshare sales when I was 19.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I sold timeshares. So it was real hardcore face-to-face sales.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you like sales?
No.
How can you not like sales if you're a waitress and you're selling timeshares and then you're a wholesaler?
Because it makes money. I like money.
You like money.
Yeah, I like money.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right. So let's talk about this. Because here's the thing. Some people, even if they money motivated, still can't muster up the consistency, because you're putting out content, which is, in a way, a version of sales.
In a way.
But
it's way more fun.
Then you cold calling. And then you are wholesaling, you selling timeshares, you're waitressing. All of that is sales. So how can you not like it?
So I love people and I love money. And the thing in between those two things is the sale.
Gotcha.
So I have to do the sale. But when I sell... So when I learned timeshare sales, right, they did a lot of that kind of hard pressure sale, and it made me feel icky. I didn't like it. It was like you find their emotional vulnerability, and you tug on that, and it was like, ugh, I don't like this at all. But I learned so much, because there's a way you can use that strategy to actually help people. You have so much control when you learn these strategies, right? So it's up to you now as the person to decide, am I going to do this with integrity, or am I going to pull on the heartstrings and do this in a kind of a gross way?
Gotcha.
For me, what I love about wholesaling is I'm the one who's doing it. I don't have a manager telling me, you should have said that, or you should have said, that's what timeshares was. It didn't make me feel good because I had somebody on my back telling me that I should be icky. With wholesaling, though, I'm my own boss. So I can go there with somebody and I can sense that, okay, I could pull this string, but you know what? Let me continue to be genuine and help this person. And if it's not a deal, it's not a deal, because the deals that are for me are for me.
Absolutely.
And what God has for me, and I point people to realtors all the time. I'm like, this is a good house. Just list it. You might make this much. And sometimes they'll be like, I don't want to wait that long. Let's just do it your way. And cool, it's mine. But I'm not going to be like, there's a lot of different people that teach a lot of different things. I'm not a proponent of like pull on their heartstrings and kind of like
twist a knife.
Yeah. And I get it. Some people, that's their thing, and that's cool. That's cool. That's them. But I'm my family's well fed, and I don't do that, and I sleep good at night, and that's what's important to me. I like to sleep good at night.
I will twist a knife. I ain't gonna lie to you.
It's okay. Everybody's different.
Sorry about that.
I mean, in a sense, sometimes if it's what they need, then you got to do it.
Absolutely.
If they're not going to make a move unless you twist the knife, then yes.
Yeah, because ultimately, right? And I'm glad you said that, because it's not about, right? Sometimes people can be in their own way.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and sometimes they need motivation for them to transition from stuck in a bad situation to elevating to a better situation. You like how I put that? I like how I put that.
Yeah.
To elevating to a better situation. And sometimes a little bit of a twist of the knife in a situation to remind them that, hey, this is not going to get better for you, can help them transition. And sometimes it just is what it is. And I learned that, because I have a nursing background, right? And so, a lot of times we are negotiating with family members to pull the plug. You know, that's a conversation that needs to be had because this is not getting better. And, you know.
That's really hard.
That's a hard conversation, but you have to have that conversation. Dang. And so because I've done that, it's made it easier for me to help sellers make that same transition. You're in foreclosure. Like this ain't getting better.
For sure. For sure. I mean? And I 100% agree with that. If it's what they need. Yeah. Yeah. But I think when you're crossing a line and when you're not. And you know, it's pretty. So wholesaling can have a bad rap because of people who choose to do the wrong things.
That's a fact.
Yeah. But I mean, I know you and your reputation, and I'm 100% sure that that's not you.
Nah, I just want to help these people transition.
Yeah, twisting the knife and putting pressure on their actual pain point. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Yes, that is sales.
Absolutely. Yeah, because it's transition. We're not persuading you to do anything. We're just helping you make decisions to help you go to your next stage or whatever.
And at the end of the day, you are going to be their best bet.
Absolutely. So you've wholesaled into from 10 to 50,000 on average. And then you've even had some 6-figure months. Yeah. Now, I know, me just knowing the wholesale business, that, it's, in a sense, it can have a rat racy kind of feeling to it. Yep. You make a ton of money, but you constantly have to create new opportunities in order to continue to eat. Mm-hmm. How are you maintaining that with social media, with being a mom? And you're a single mom too, right?
Yep, of 2.
Ooh. Yep. So, we definitely got to talk about that. So, how are you maintaining a wholesale business that's generating that level of income? What are you doing? You got staff? You got help? How's this looking?
Yeah, so I do. I have cold caller VAs, lead managers, acquisitions, and then a dispo assistant as well.
All of these are virtual or?
Everybody is remote, but some people are in the United States. Gotcha. So cold callers are the people who call the sellers initially. They make that first initial contact. Hey, do you want to sell? Mm-hmm. And then and
they're overseas.
They're overseas. They're all overseas.
And these are full-time employees.
And they're full-time. Okay. Well, not employees, but I guess contractors. But yeah, I pay them hourly, 8 hours a day. Gotcha. And then the lead managers are also overseas. Okay. I have a partner, and he runs the sales department, which is acquisitions, we call it. Okay. And then they basically, so the lead managers follow up with the people we touch to make sure they're actually ready to go. Gotcha. When they're ready to go, a closer or acquisitions manager will call them and actually get the deal under contract.
And are those people here?
And those people are in the U.S.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that is where it feels to me the place that's most rat racy is like finding and replacing and finding the best people to do that job and always filling that seat and sometimes having to be in that seat. Because I did this 100% by myself the first year and a half. Gotcha. I was all those people. Gotcha. Alone. And it was a lot.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
But I'm pretty sure your profits were better.
I made all the money.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So now I make some of the money.
Some of the money.
Yeah. But it's so much less pressure on me. And then I am able to actually go seek more opportunities because now with having mentees, they bring deals to JV. With having social media, they bring deals to JV. So now I'm able to help other people do deals. And essentially I'm making more money because I'm able to bring in more leads from more people.
Gotcha. How do you keep your team motivated though? Like, I mean, because I know that, listen, you're talking to somebody who we've done this. Yep. So, because you're in sales, how are you keeping your team motivated? Because at the end of the day, are they treating your leads how you treating your leads?
No. So to be totally honest with you, sometimes it can be a revolving door. And then sometimes we'll get that person who will really, really stick around. Yeah. So that's, this is officially my 3rd year doing this. So I'm in year 3. Year 1.5, I did it all by myself. The 2nd year was me trying to, figure all this out. So this is the first year where I personally have really only had to touch like 3 deals and, do something of that sort on them. So it's a work in progress as far as maintaining the same sales team. There has been like 2 transitions already this year with bringing on new people. Wow. And they go. And I guess streamlining the process of onboarding them is really the biggest thing that I've learned this year. So I'm not, or my partner's not wasting all that time training people.
Gotcha.
We use a software called Talent LMS, and it's like a corporate training software.
Absolutely.
So now when you come in, instead of me sitting with you on Zoom for 8 hours, you can learn, and then you just get thrown right in the fire, because we want people who really want it too. And that's been the tough thing, because I'm on social media. So I probably get 3 or 4 messages a day that's like, hire me, please. I'm going to be a closer. I had the sales experience. And it's been I kind of have a bleeding heart. I want to help everybody. So I bring everybody on. I'm like, let's go. You want to do it? Let's go. And then, sure enough, they always disappoint me because they don't have the grit.
Gotcha.
They can't sit there.
So essentially your employees are students?
Not even students. Well, now we use like ZipRecruiter, Indeed, now we're hiring. But for a long time, I was just bringing people on from the midst of I want to wholesale.
Yeah, gotcha.
And it was a mess.
Oh man, because it's misleading, because they really were coming to you for training to be their own bosses, but I'll play in your business for a little while and learn some stuff.
But they wouldn't even do that. They definitely weren't going to be their own bosses.
Well, let me tell you.
I got everything for you. I got the dialer. I got hot
it's
leads.
all set up. And then you just finna come and drop the ball.
Yeah. So it was multiple times where I'm like, man, F it. I'm going to call these people myself. And then I go back and I get deals. And it's all, at the end of the day, we're in it to make money, right? And, it sounds so good. Build passive income and have $50,000 passive a month. Like, it sounds so good, but I'm in my 20s. Like, do I need passive income? I'm cool with working. It's okay if I'm in a little bit of a rat race. Like, I like to, what would I do? I'd be sitting around looking at myself in the mirror. Like,
exactly. Doing TikTok. You know what I mean? Like, yo.
Yeah. So I make time for content because I enjoy it, and it's brought me more revenue within the business, and it's brought me relationships like this. Like, if I was just a wholesaler, I wouldn't be sitting here with you.
That's a fact.
So I've been able to meet people who have, in turn, they're helping me change my life and become like, I aspire to have, 100 doors creatively, like some people,
Absolutely.
and like some people.
Yeah.
But that's something that comes with time, and I understand that. So right now I'm putting my work in. Like, I'm cool. I'm putting my work in. I get to be a great mom. I get to be a business owner. This is things I dreamed about a couple years ago. So
you mentioned single mom.
Yeah.
So, 2 kids.
Yep.
How old?
2. I have a 2-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son.
2-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
So same dad?
Different dads.
Different dads.
Yeah. So it gets ghetto. No.
Hilarious. So let's talk about this. So why not the 2-year-olds? What happened with that?
So, okay. So the 2-year-old's dad and me were best friends in college. I went to Grambling State. Okay. Best friends for like 9 years.
Is he from, because you're from Ethiopia,
Yeah,
right?
So neither one of them are from Ethiopia. So neither one. They're both American. Okay. My son's dad and me got married when I was 21.
So Black American?
Black American. Both are Black American. Okay. My son's dad and I got married when I was 21. Okay. We had my son, and then that didn't work out. So we got divorced when he was...
Oh, so y'all were married?
We were married, yeah. Okay. We got divorced when he was 3. And then that's when I kind of started being a single mom / waitress. I had my son. And when I started wholesaling, I just only had my son. Gotcha. So I got pregnant with my daughter probably maybe 3-4 months after I started wholesaling. Okay. So that was more of it wasn't really... planned. Let's say that. It was like, oh crap. But then at the same time, I always wanted to have a big family. So we tried until she was like 6 months old to like try to be together. But it was really trying to force it, honestly.
Gotcha. You didn't like him like that.
I mean, I do, but it just, at this point, I'm like, I'm so in this business. Gotcha. Then I'm pregnant. Gotcha. Then, you know what I mean? Emotions. It's a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah. You may cuss somebody out on accident.
I wasn't even in the place to try to be anybody's woman, and I'm becoming a mother again. Wow. And I'm also, head underwater in this new business that I feel like I have so much potential in. Gotcha. And part of me may have chose that over focusing on having a family, which might in the long run it might sound bad, but we're still really good friends, and I think that he's proud of what I've done.
Gotcha. So tell me this: are they active in the kids?
Yeah, they are. They are.
So it's not like single mom. It's kind of like single with a little help.
Single with some help. Yeah. So
that's better.
Yeah. So one is in the same state as me, my son's dad, and then my daughter's dad is in a different state.
Okay.
But he so I go to a lot of events. Like sometimes I'll speak, sometimes I'll do stuff like this.
Yeah.
So it would be like 3 weeks here, 4 weeks there, 2 weeks there, and then
dad over here. Yep. Like, let's break this up.
Teamwork, and it works out for me.
Yeah.
And it's not ideal. I don't think anybody has a kid hoping to be a single parent.
Yeah.
It's definitely not ideal. But right now, it has its pros and cons. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. What's the pros?
The pros is like you said, I'm able to have them with them, so I can go do, entrepreneur things.
Gotcha.
When I was in a relationship, so one thing, when I was married, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
But it was kind of an issue. I'm not going to lie.
Why was it an issue?
It was like, I don't know. It was like, this is going to, okay, if you're watching this is not
just put it out there. Don't steal your energy.
Respectfully, right?
Let's talk about it.
I just felt like sometimes he would be hating on me when I was trying to do something. Like, it would be like, I created this hair product and I was going to have a photo shoot. This is one scenario, but there was many, right?
Gotcha.
One scenario. And I'm packing up the car and I'm doing all that. And he just picked a random fight. And it was like, for me, it felt as if like, you don't want me to do this.
You don't want me to win.
You don't want me to win.
Yeah.
And you know that I don't want to work a job. And you know I'm spending all this time and energy trying to start all these businesses. It's not because I just want to have fun.
Facts.
I'm trying to do this for all of us. You work a job. You work hard.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get us to somewhere else. And I just feel like whenever I've ever dated, I haven't had the same mentality as the people I've dated. And it's caused that, like, we don't have the vision alignment. So when I'm just like, go, 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 but they want me to be like, sit in the house and just raise the kids.
Be a mom.
Which I'm fine with being a mom, but I don't want to just be a mom,
Yeah.
I can cook and clean and do all that and I still have time left. So I want to do more.
Like, what can I do with this other time?
Yeah.
So tell the truth. Do you feel like that those relationships, the failure of those relationships were more you than them?
I think that I didn't understand that a relationship required
work
alignment. First of all, in a vision.
Okay.
I didn't date right.
Gotcha.
I didn't date right. I dated straight off attraction. It was nothing else. It was like, I think you're cute. You think I'm cute. Now we're hanging out. We're having fun.
We're on the phone.
Yeah.
Late night conversation.
You're funny.
Yeah.
It's these things that are attractive about you to me, but I wasn't who I am now, so I didn't even know what I would be looking for in somebody.
Wow. So your family, so tell me this. Your family weren't there to kind of like coach you into...
No. So what's funny is like being from Ethiopia, like I literally never talked about relationships with my parents. I didn't get no birds and bees talk.
Damn.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
So awkward, like to learn all that in school and never... Like, now when I see what parenting is so different. The cultures are so different.
So let's talk about that.
So
why wouldn't they have... Wait a minute. You like grown.
Yeah.
And you ain't had no birds and bees conversation with them? Okay. Why not?
I never talked about even sex with my mother until after I was going to be having my son already.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I got married when I was 21. Like, I was young now that when I think about a 21-year-old, like, getting married, that's crazy. Now, especially today's 21-year-olds.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, but for me, I was like, I was just in love and rushing to have this, I didn't know.
Gotcha.
Like, I didn't know what I didn't know.
So it was a love thing for you.
So it was a love thing, yeah.
Wasn't practical.
It wasn't based on a long-term future.
Gotcha. So, and mom never talked to you about this.
No.
Dad never talked to you about this. What's your relationship like with mom and dad?
I mean, we're close, but in my culture, parents are more like guides. They're not friends. In America, you have that bond with your kid. No, like my dad I didn't grow up with my dad telling me I love you and stuff. He just started doing that.
Wow.
Yeah, hugs, cuddling. That's not a part of it. It was like read, be really good at school, become a doctor, an engineer. And I was really good at school. I was always like honors AP,
Yeah.
and I just followed that role until like I was very over-sheltered. I was never allowed to go out with my friends.
Gotcha.
I could only hang out with other Ethiopian kids. So
Why?
I had this...
you
they
can
just
only
don't-
hang out with...
Yeah, they just don't trust... They didn't trust anybody. They
Gotcha,
didn't, you know, they're new to the country and they didn't trust. So when I got 16 and I basically stole my own freedom and I got very rebellious. I started going out, having boyfriends.
You wild out.
I was totally wild out. Totally wild out.
Because they overdid it.
They overdid it.
So tell me this. Do you think if they would have allowed you to kind of have a little bit of freedom, you would have...
Yeah, I would have learned. I would have learned. I would have been able to be around other people and seen what relationships were like and seen what life was really like. Maybe be around other people's families and see what... Because now that I got older and I got out on my own, I can see it all. But when you're young and you feel like your family is holding you back, what do you go to? You go to the person that makes you feel... you know, loved and wanted and cared about the way you want to be.
Yeah.
Which could be a man or a woman.
Yeah. The street.
The street.
You was for the streets for a little while.
Not at all. No. I mean, I got married, so I wasn't for the streets, but I was just for wanting what I wanted.
Wanting what you wanted.
Yeah.
And you had your independence. You was in college, and you was away from them at that time, right?
Well, I went to college for 1 year. I came back to Vegas. Yeah. I went to Grambling. Grambling's in the middle of nowhere. It was just too hard to survive out there.
Wow.
So I came back to Vegas. I started working and I met him. We had our son. You know, we got married. We had our son. It was all smooth sailing. But then when I really got into that adult life, I started realizing what I really want. Because you don't know it until you're there.
Facts. Wow. Amazing. That is amazing. So 2 kids, 2 fathers, both supportive fathers. And sounds like you're completely focused on business.
Yeah. And my kids.
And are you dating now?
I've dated, but I'm not dating now.
Why not?
Well, right now I live in Las Vegas.
Okay.
I don't want to live there.
Gotcha.
So I don't want to start anything there.
Got you.
It's just kind of pointless.
Got you. What is that next? Because I'm pretty sure your DMs got to be, you got to have some folk in the DMs. What is that avatar of the DM? Yo, let's talk about it. What's in them DMs, you know, and then what's the guys that you looking at like, yo, what are you like? This may be the one right here. You know what I mean? What's that like? Gosh. What's your next, with all of the information you know now? Because it's going to be different next.
Right. So I have a really big vision, right?
Okay.
Like a really big vision.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So
Look how big.
Like billions big.
Yo.
Like empire big.
Empire big. Like you want billions.
Yeah, I want my kids to not just have the money, but have the knowledge and the businesses.
Wow.
I want my family to be set up. I don't want anybody else in my family to go through what I have to go through.
Wow.
As far as how am I going to take care of my kids, my parents when they get older? Like,
so
it's
Toddy
too
wants
much.
to be a billionaire.
But it's not just me. So like, you know how they say when you hire people, their vision has to fit inside your vision?
Yes.
I am a little bit traditional. Like, obviously I got married when I was super young. I do believe that my vision needs to fit inside my future husband's vision.
Why?
Because if it doesn't, I don't think that we're going to be aligned. I think that he has to want the same things so that we can both be on the same path in all of the different steps.
We're going to talk about this because this is deep. We're going to argue. All right. So look, so just real quick, do you want to be a billionaire?
Yes.
You want to be a billionaire, hands down.
Hands down.
You feel you have what it takes to be a billionaire?
I do.
Wow. Okay. Now, the guy that you're looking for, right? You're saying that he has to be in alignment with you. What type of guy do you feel you would need to be with that would be supportive and aid you in becoming a billionaire?
Well, I think that, you know, maybe in a more of a sense, maybe I would need to aid him, or, you know what I mean? We need to aid each other. I don't think that he could aid me in becoming a billionaire. I don't think it would work like that.
Gotcha.
Because the male and female dynamic,
you've been hated on before.
It's not even that. Don't say that. It's like, I don't ever want to feel like I'm I'm the one that wants more, and it makes him feel less because I want more. I want him to feel, like he's running the show, and that is, that's why I said my vision needs to fit inside his vision. Like, maybe I'm cool with 1, maybe he wants 10,
This is difficult. This is a difficult.
I'm not saying it has to be $1 billion cash in the bank. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
How it goes.
Yeah, I know how it goes. Yeah,
to be worth $1 billion doesn't necessarily mean you have $1 billion in the bank.
Yeah,
so
but the billion may be on the way.
When I say billion, that's more on the aspect of it's the companies are worth it, the things we have, and what we're able to do, and the impact we're able to have on the world.
Avatar. What does this guy look like? What is the guy who is with Toddy, the billionaire, or on the way to being a billionaire, which I think is, that literally can be 2 different people, because the guy who's with you on the way to becoming a billionaire, his tolerance level is going to be different from the guy who you meet who, when you arrive to $1 billion. So you got a lot of different dynamics in this.
Yeah.
And hopefully that guy is the one that can be from start to finish.
And we can do it together.
Absolutely. So what does that guy look like from the things that you've learned? What does he look like? What
physically?
Physically, mentally, spiritually, where is he at? Like, where is this guy at?
So physically, I'm open-minded because I don't think I can super box that in.
Gotcha.
Preferably Black. I'll just say that.
Gotcha.
Or African or whatever. Melanated. Preferably melanated, just because I want us to have that in common and be able to understand each other, right?
And you already got kids too.
Yeah. And preferably he has a kid,
Interesting.
Yeah, because I in the scenario that we are doing this thing, and these are all hypotheticals, but in the scenario that we're doing this thing and we can't have another child, I don't want him to ever feel like he missed out on having kids.
Because you may not.
I may not have a kid.
you may be done with that.
We maybe or maybe not, but in the scenario that, like, what if in our first 3 years things are going really, really good, and I'm needed in other areas and I can't have another child. If he has a child or 2 or whatever, that would be better because he's going to be fulfilled in that area.
Gotcha.
So that would be ideal.
Okay.
If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But, that would be ideal. And then the most important thing for me, I guess, is that it's spiritually has worked on himself enough to be able to kind of lead and be understanding. Lead and be understanding.
Now we're gonna disagree. We're gonna argue right now.
Yeah. So be understanding in that I'm a woman, so I'm gonna always be a woman. Obviously, he's a man, so he's always gonna be a man. But on the flip side, lead and just because I am who I am, it bring out the best in me. But like, a problem that I feel like is when arguments happen in relationships and stuff. Things can turn very ugly. Like, have the understanding of communication to know when we need to just stop talking and cool off. Because I'm not a cuss you out person.
Gotcha.
I'm not gonna go there ever. So I hate when
how's your anger manifest?
So I'm very passive aggressive.
Gotcha.
Like, I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm not gonna argue with you in your face.
Yeah. You're just gonna do something later. That's gonna be like, what the.
I'm going to hold it in and I'm going to try to talk about it.
Yeah.
But if I can't have like a conversation without it turning into this big blow up, then it's just going to build up because I don't like to argue. Gotcha. I don't like to fight.
Gotcha.
I grew up in a household that was crazy fighting. So I don't like that. I want my kids to see that. So for me, it's like, okay, we can communicate. And then when you're going to disagree. When things get heated and you start to disagree, we both have the maturity to just say, hey, hold on, let's table this and let's come back to it when we cool down, come back. I think if we can do that, I don't see why we can't reach any height, because that's where things disconnect, is in disagreements.
Gotcha. How would you feel if I said, right, that what if that guy is not a guy who is crazy ambitious as you are? Because when you say, it's one thing to say I want to be a millionaire. Right? It's a whole different conversation when we talking about we want to be a billionaire. What would you say if I said, right, what if that guy was not as ambitious, but hella supportive, right? Not necessarily a alpha energy, right? Meaning he not the type that's going to want to conquer the world, but he'll be a hell of a supporter to help you conquer the world. How would you feel about that guy?
I mean, it sounds good.
You'd be okay with that?
I'd be open to it. Yeah, if that was the truth, if that was truly it. But I don't know if that's like a real thing. Would you be
attracted to that guy? The guy who's not necessarily an ambitious person like you are.
I mean, what is not as ambitious as me, but still ambitious to an extent, right? You gotta
this is my problem.
You gotta have some drive for sure. You have to be ambitious. Maybe you don't want to be a billionaire, but maybe, you want the lifestyle of like, okay, we have some cash in the bank. We're comfortable. We don't have to, we have this like, we're talking about the passive income. Like, let's say he said, I just want to make $100K a month and I'm cool with that. That wouldn't be the end of the world for me. That's a good amount of money. That's a goal to strive to.
So you're talking about like Jay-Z and Beyonce.
That's what I would want.
Yeah. Something like that.
If ideally, but I'm not going to say that if it wasn't that, I wouldn't. I just would throw them in the trash. Like gotcha. I do believe that God will give you who you're supposed to have. So if that person is for me and he's supposed to support me, maybe, God had a different mission for me and he needed me to have a supporter. But I just haven't been in a situation where that worked well. I do feel like I've been in situations where even if I'm doing more right now, they wanted to be doing more than me, for sure.
Gotcha. And see, that's my dilemma. That's my dilemma. Because a lot of times, right, when you're, listen, you're talking about becoming a billionaire. And when you're having those levels of ambition, right, do you feel it can be a situation where if you have this high of a level of ambition and this guy has a certain ambition, do you see an area where you can see conflict? So walk with me. What if his ambition takes him to North Carolina? Your ambition takes you to Atlanta, Georgia. What y'all doing in that relationship? How is that going to work?
You mean literally physically?
Literally
physically in two different locations.
I'm using it physically, right? But I'm also using it metaphorically too, because what I'm saying is ambitious people tend to be strong-willed in what they want, right?
For sure, yeah.
And so they, in their mindset, it's like, okay, you doing what you doing, and I'm cool with that, but I'm going to holler at you later.
But he's as ambitious as I am in this scenario.
He's as ambitious as you are. So what I'm saying is
then I'm going to go to North Carolina.
You're going to go to North Carolina?
Yeah.
So how are you going to be a billionaire if your opportunity is...
he's as ambitious as me.
But what if your opportunity is in Atlanta? Like physically and metaphorically, your opportunity to become a billionaire is in Atlanta.
No, that's not... No, my opportunity to become a billionaire is with me.
But I'm using it metaphorically.
No, but it wouldn't be. Like, so metaphorically, right? Let's say there's this opportunity. This TV show's like, okay, we're going to hire you, but you have to be in Atlanta.
Yes.
And they're going to give me $10 million a year.
They're going to give you $10 million a year.
Right? That's just like a literal example, right?
Okay.
And he's like, no, I have this opportunity over here, and it's $10 million a year.
Okay.
But I'm going to be over here. But we're already locked in. You know what I mean? I'm okay with, because at the end of the day, either way, this is going to be the billion.
Yeah. But what if his ambition is just not at that level yet? Let's say you got the 10 million.
And he got 100,000?
100,000.
No, come on, man. That's crazy.
But no, what I'm saying is, look, nah, you can't have it perfect. Yo, listen. So that's why I'm saying, like,
I would hope he would be logical enough to say, hey, this 10 million over here.
No, I think, see, that's the conflict. Because when you're dealing with an ambitious person,
he gonna say, my 100,000 over your 10 million.
No.
I'll give him the 100,000.
How many people told you when you started? how many? But that's an insult to an ambitious person, because how many people told you that wholesaling or fixing and flipping or this wouldn't work for you?
No, I would never say it wouldn't work for you.
No. But I'm just saying, like, how many people told you that?
No, for sure, a lot of people.
Right, and they gave you the best advice that they possibly could at that moment, and they really felt like they was helping you out. And what did you do instead?
I did it anyway.
You did it anyway.
Right.
And then you became successful at it.
Right.
Right. And so if somebody believes, even though they're going to I'm talking about an ambitious person. They believe that, look, I may only be getting $100,000 now, but I may be getting $1 billion later.
Okay. I feel you.
Does that make sense?
Then that's okay. Maybe he can go and I can go. We can go our separate ways for that. But we can still be long distance. Like we don't have to just break the whole thing up.
So, but here's the thing.
We
though.
can FaceTime. We can visit each other. Virtual
relationship.
Virtual relationship.
Be on FaceTime.
Well, because I'm sure he wouldn't want me to miss out on the 10 million. You know what I mean? We can still pursue. I mean,
Do you believe that here's the deal. Do you believe that a certain level of ambition is selfish?
I do. It's probably a little bit of a pride thing. Like you want to feel good about yourself, a little ego.
Yeah. And so I'm asking these questions because what I'm trying to, here's the thing. I think whenever you're planning out, right, the life that you want,
right,
this is what you said you want. You want $1 billion. Why not just get with somebody who is going to support you getting your $1 billion instead of trying to convert somebody who is chasing their own $1 billion, right? And they may not be in alignment with you getting your $1 billion. Not they want you to have it from I love everybody. You know how people say these little weird platitudes.
Yeah.
I love everybody. I want everybody to be happy. I just want the world, heal the world,
yeah.
right? But in reality, they're like, I'm really trying to get my own joint.
Yeah.
And I need a woman that's going to be supporting me get my joint. Why not just get with somebody who is just like, I ain't got no joint. I just want to be on Toddy's joint, kind of like Oprah and what's her dude named Stedman.
No, I would rather support somebody in their joint in this situation than go get my own.
So you would?
Yeah, for sure.
So you would give up your ambition for $1 billion?
Yeah, for sure. It was not even giving up my ambition because I would still be able to do my thing. Maybe it's not in the exact context of what was going to happen in Atlanta. But
so in your mind, you're like, shit, it just may work out.
It will. If I believe in him, yeah, why not?
You'd be like, fuck that $10 million show.
I mean, if I really believe in what he has, and obviously
but what if you don't believe in it?
I should believe in it if that's my dude,
Nah.
I should believe in it.
So let's talk about this.
But I do believe that there has to be results. Like there has to be some results that's showing that I can believe in what that person's doing.
But what if you don't?
And if I don't, then I don't. Then I don't really believe in him. I'm not the support mate that he needed anyway. I think the problem with the Oprah Stedman kind of relationship is I feel like I think as a woman, if you're, and take this with a grain of salt because I'm not an expert at life by any means. So I'm just saying when you say that, right?
Okay.
The feeling it gave me
it's
kind of like,
it's a broad deal.
It sounds like, to me, it feels more like he just got like a meal ticket almost. And he got kind of like lucky, but I may be wrong. Like that might not be the way she sees it.
Yeah, because you could say that about, would you say the same thing about, let's say, Michael Jordan's first wife?
That she got a meal ticket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, would?
If you're with somebody and you're right. You don't know what really went on in the background and how he had to support her.
It's kind of like what Steve Harvey just came out recently. You heard about this with his wife? Okay, so apparently there was a lot of rumors going around saying that his wife cheated on him, right? And that she was only there for the money and all of these things. And Steve Harvey came out like, y'all are wrong. My wife been with me, but when I ain't had no family feud, I ain't had none of these things, and we literally built this together, right? And so I look at even like my wife, right? If I was to ever like really just get on, like I feel like, like she was there with me, like helping with all of the things, right, that I needed at that time to help me get to where I'm going. A lot of times we discount somebody who is maybe even a homemaker, somebody that's taking care of the kids, but that's valuable to you, right?
For sure.
Right. And the fact that you're here because somebody loves your children enough and loves you enough to make provision for you to be here.
For sure.
Is that not valuable?
Very. No, you're right. You're right. In that context, right? maybe it's my jaded view of he wouldn't be happy with it.
Yes.
And he would maybe hate on me or be like, I don't want her to be, that much more.
But think about it this way. What if, just hypothetically speaking, what if you, instead of trying to be with a man who wants ambition and all of these things, knowing that you have ambition, right? Because a lot of times, two ambitious people, right, it's a natural conflict. It's a natural conflict. You just have to sort yourselves out, right? Because matter of fact, in business, even two business partners, right? You have to sort yourselves out. You're going to be over this. I'm going to be over this.
You're right.
Right?
Yeah.
And so when you are building and you say, look, I want to be a billionaire, why not just get with somebody that's going to alleviate any pathways and it's not going to be no confusion? And you understand your role, I understand my role, and you just sit in this role and we just make this work the best we can. What's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. It sounds good. It sounds good. It sounds good.
But what?
I just haven't seen that. I really haven't seen that.
It's funny. We had a conversation today on BOB, right? And we were talking about relationships. We were talking about the fact that in the 60s, right, and this whole Kevin Samuels thing has gotten popularized, like, oh, women need to be submissive and women need to be feminine and all of these things, right? The femininity thing has blown up.
Yeah.
And my deal is this. In the 1960s, women damn near couldn't even have bank accounts, right? They didn't have jobs and some women did have jobs, but they didn't have like real money-making jobs. They weren't leading industry like how they are now. I'm a firm proponent that in 2023, you got a lot of women making more money than men on average. This is a real thing, especially in a lot of these bigger cities.
Yeah, for sure.
Why are we trying to make 1960s relationships, i.e. what Kevin Samuels has promoted and has become very popular today, fit in 2023 when women are out earning men? And so what's happening is you get with a man that has a little bit of ambition and then you're trying to push him to be as ambitious as you, and he's hating on you, and y'all can't see eye to eye because maybe you don't need to be with a guy with a little bit of ambition. He just may need to have a whole lot of support.
But here's my thing, right? Okay, you mentioned the Jay-Z and Beyonce dynamic. You mentioned the Oprah and Stedman dynamic. But there's other dynamics where couples are actually like partners in their business. Like, for example, the Polites. That's a couple that I really admire.
The Polites.
Diedrich and Crystal Polite.
Yes.
That's a couple that I really admire because guess what? Maybe Crystal by herself could be a billionaire, and maybe Diedrich by himself could be a billionaire.
Who do you think leads that?
I'm assuming him, but that's me being assuming. Like,
Gotcha.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
That's just me being, gender heteronormative or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know who leads it, but I know that they are a really good partnership.
Yes.
And that they both bring like something really unique to each other's relationship.
Yes.
And they're able to do something together that's very unique to what either one of them would have did by themselves. Imagine if Crystal said, I'm going to be a billionaire, and Diedrich said, you know what, I'm going to just support you. Or if Diedrich said, I'm going to be a billionaire, and Crystal said, you know what, I'm going to just support you. Yes. But no, they work together because guess what? Now when she's tired one day, he still knows everything to make everything they do operate. If he's tired or sick one day, all these other things that you talk about, like things in the house, cooking, cleaning, these things that you said alleviate the pathway, you can technically hire somebody to do those things, you know?
A fact.
So if we're both, let's say North Carolina had the billion and Atlanta had the billion, we should be able to do both together as a team because the team together, the partnership together is always going to do more. Like Grant and Elena Cardone, maybe Grant Cardone is the leader and did it first, right?
Yes.
But she has also done something now that also makes its own millions too.
Yes.
So it's like you can both be stars in your own right. You both can be very ambitious. It's probably a lot harder. There probably is a lot more, headbutting, but I do believe that with two people very mature. Those are some relationships right there that I even Tiffany and Josh High, just in the niche of real estate space.
You think run that though?
From what I see, I'm seeing her more at the forefront.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I'm sure if she's tired, he could do everything that she can do, and I'm sure if he's tired, she could do everything he could do. I'm sure they both.
I mean, everybody's going to be there to pick up the slack.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
but
I know
they wouldn't
Grant.
be able to do that if he was just taking care of the kids or she was just taking care of the kids. They wouldn't even know the business. She would need a business partner. He would, you know what I mean? Like, but instead, you can be each other's business partners, and I think that the whole family unit can also still work. But it's figuring it out. Like, everybody's relationship is going to work in different ways.
Yeah.
I think I would like it if we both had the same, you know, kind of view on who we want to be. And I'm not saying we have to be this power couple. I'm not saying it's like, it's that or nothing.
Gotcha.
I'm open-minded.
Gotcha.
I'm open-minded.
You want to build.
I do want to build, and I do want to build something to where you turn around and it's like 40 years later, and you did hit that billion, and you did do it together, and you guys did alleviate when you needed it. And, you know, neither person feels like they did so much more of the work. Like,
I you know, that's so much more to work. I you know, here's the thing. I know Grant, and I know Elena. I've met them, and we've had extensive conversations on relationship. And I would say this. Elena supports Grant.
for sure.
And as a result of her supporting Grant, yes, she's had business ventures that have been able to spawn as a result, as an extension of what Grant has already created.
Yep.
But she 100% supports Grant.
For sure.
And because she supports Grant, you know, all of these, Grant is such a mega successful person that if Elena wants to bake cookies, that will be a successful, that'll be $1 million business. If she decide, look, I want to bake cookies and I want to sell Girl Scout, whatever she wants to do, because it's already an extension of something that's already moving, it's going to be successful. So again, it goes back to, and I'm not saying that, you know, because, you know, even with like Beyonce and JC, right? They met each other in a successful space.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're building something, I don't know. I you know, listen, and I'm just saying this because I'm asking these questions because I really want, I feel like it's too many women they have amazing talents. They have extreme boss energy. And what they're doing, what I'm seeing a lot of women do is shrink themselves down to conform to 1960 standards to appease some man who is probably going to be jealous of your ambition anyway. And it's like, yo, like, why are you doing that? Why don't you just get with somebody who's proud of your ambition? Like,
I don't think it's one or the other. I gotta disagree.
Let's talk about it.
I don't think it's either that or that. I think there is that person that's ambitious, but is confident and secure enough in himself to also support you.
That is true.
To build with you. Whether he's a little bit ahead of you or whether he's a little bit behind you, doesn't matter.
Do you think that guy's rare, though?
Definitely rare, but I think I'm rare.
Yes, you are rare.
I think I'm rare. I think you're rare. I think anybody who's doing what we're doing is probably rare and a little bit crazy.
That's a fact.
So I think that when you meet that because the other half of it for me is it's the conversation. Like if I'm not stimulated and we're not learning together and like, oh, I learned about this new thing and this new, like those are the conversations that excite me. So if it's like, I have to have all those conversations with my work friends and then I can only have regular conversations with you, I don't think I'm going to be very excited about the relationship.
Damn.
And I think we both need to be excited about something together, and it can't just be home and food and you know what I mean? Like yeah. That's why I think for me, ambition isn't like, oh, you have to want to be a billionaire, but you have to want to be great at something. Maybe he's into tech or something like that, and he's, you know, doing something in that sort, and he's sharing exciting things with me, and I'm learning, and I'm sharing exciting. It's just the stimulation. I need mental stimulation. You need mental stimulation. Yeah.
Well, you know, here's the thing. I, you know, and this is another, you know, it's another thing, and then I want. I'm building with you. I feel
feel you though.
You know what I mean?
I don't like when women shrink themselves either.
Yeah.
I think that the man should be man enough to love you as you are and not want to make you smaller to benefit his ego. But at the same time, there's a lot of women who aren't very ambitious. So he just needs to look for her. Why is he picking on the ambitious woman? I think those dudes who talk about that, they're just picking on women.
Yes.
Because they're mad at somebody. That's it.
Well, I think at the end of the day, right, we have to pick our poison, right? And
100%.
So you get what you choose and you get what you deserve. And when you choose what you choose.
100%.
And I believe that, finding somebody who is a good match for your ambition, my opinion, I believe that's just a better route than trying to find somebody who is some manly man running around trying to conquer the world. That man is typically going to have his own agenda. He's going to want his woman to conform to his agenda, not her agenda. And I'm just saying on average. I'm not saying that, and it's a ton of men, right, that women typically ignore.
Yeah, for sure.
Typically don't even see that would happily conform to your vision, help you, and talk to you about your vision. You probably won't perceive it as, okay, he doesn't have his own thing going on, but at the end of the day, he's talking about what I got going on, and we happy together because he helps me with this, that, and the third.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. If we can talk about it and we can have that stimulation and he's helping, that's still building though.
Yeah, but he may even work in your business.
Yeah,
I know women that have men that work in their business.
What if my brand takes off and it's like we're doing something really big and he just has this skill set that would be perfect to make it boom even more? What's wrong with that? We're still building. We're still building. Yeah.
But you're not but I'm just saying the guy who typically would take that role
is not going to be the same dude. I feel you. And I'm okay with that. He don't have to be that dude. He could be smart. He could be smart.
Yeah.
And he could be, you know what I mean? He could have his role. Yeah. No, not even. And I wouldn't even do him like that.
Because at the end of the day, value is still value.
I just want to feel like, man, I couldn't do this without you. You couldn't do this without me.
Facts.
That's what I want to feel like. That's it.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to be you made 100,000 and I made 10 million. Like, that's not the point.
The
point is that we're able to get to that together. And you know what? Him supporting me means that he believes in me that much.
Absolutely.
So that's even a greater thing.
Absolutely. So, Toddy, you are virtually wholesaling. You're building a brand.
Not dating, like you said.
Not dating.
But yes, building
and
a brand.
The DMs
virtual
are popping,
wholesaling.
but you like ignoring the DMs.
Yeah.
You ignoring the DMs.
For now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can ignore
I
the DMs.
have a young daughter. I want her to get older. I want to be more uncomfortable in my situation too.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And then you got two supportive dads.
Yeah. And we're friends. We're all cool.
So
I
that's
have a cool
relationship
thing going.
enough for you.
Yeah. For now.
Okay. And then every now and then y'all probably hook up sometimes.
No, I'm completely not hooking up with anybody.
Completely not hooking up with them. Not even the baby daddies.
Nobody at all.
They don't try.
No.
They don't want to try.
Well, we don't talk about that.
You don't even go in there.
We don't talk about that. Yeah.
How does that work?
Well,
y'all don't like each other at all.
I'm divorced with the first one, so that's been out the window for years, you know. And then, no, I mean, like, I'm really focused right now. Like, I'm not trying to just
do stuff,
have sex for fun.
Gotcha.
Doesn't make sense to me.
Gotcha.
I did that. That's why I'm in my situation. Like,
fun sex leads to babies. People.
I learned from my mistakes.
Yeah.
I made decisions from an immature place.
Gotcha.
And I'm, you know what I mean? I'm woman up enough to be a good mother and raise my kids, but I'm not going to continue to just make immature decisions.
Gotcha. Based on emotions and the right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not dating at all.
No.
Don't want to date.
Not right now.
And what is like, okay, I'm waking up, I'm excited, I'm ready to conquer the world.
Yeah.
What is that thing that's driving you right now?
So I'm still in that running away from pain. You know how they say you're either running away from pain or you're running towards pleasure?
Yes.
I'm still running away from pain.
What kind of pain?
I mean, responsibility. I'm responsible for, you know, I feel, I'm not responsible for right now, but I feel responsible for my whole family.
Damn.
I don't want them to have to, you know, work for a little bit of money and struggle.
Yes.
I want my immediate family to at least be as comfortable as I can be right now.
Absolutely.
I don't have to report to anybody and I'm able to be good, you know?
It's a lot of responsibility.
It's a lot of responsibility. So that's why I do have to have a big vision, because I have a lot of people that I want to take care of. So that I'm running away from being in that position where someone needs my help and I can't help them.
What does that pain feel like?
It feels like motivation. It feels like a burning drive. Like every day I wake up and it's like, man, because I know what I'm going to do all week on Sunday. Like I know exactly what I want to do the whole week.
What are you doing on Sunday?
On Sunday, I'm planning out my week ahead. So I look at the deals, starting from the wholesaling business. I look at the deals we have going and what needs to be moved forward on each deal, whatever that is.
This is happening this Sunday.
This is happening this Sunday and every Sunday. So I look at that first, the wholesale business. And then I look at my Toddy Virtual brand as far as creating content.
So you're creating content as well on Sunday?
No, I'm planning. Sunday is just planning.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so Sunday I'm planning.
Wholesale business, what needs to be done, how we need to get this done.
Yep.
I'm taking this. Are you writing any of this down?
Yeah, I'm writing everything down.
On a notebook or in the phone?
On notes in my phone.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm planning out the whole week. So I have my things that need to be done in wholesale business. I have the things I want to create content-wise, the value I want to give to my mentees, my students.
Gotcha.
So especially if I learn something new, I definitely want to make a loom about it so I can share something with them. And then, so there's the content creation that's just, you know, me creating. But then there's the content creation that is marketing for my mentorship. You know what I mean? So then I have to have actually marketing. And then Mondays, I'll meet with my marketing and sales team for my Toddy Virtual business. And they'll kind of tell me what they want to see. You know, if they want me to create some videos or they want me to create some stuff. Yeah. So I have a really solid team for that, which I'm really grateful for. They help me a lot.
Nice.
So I'll meet with them on Monday, but I kind of plan everything out for myself on Sunday. And then I also, you know, I just started doing this fluff and fold thing. So now I don't have to do laundry anymore. They pick up the laundry and they wash it and fold it for you and bring it back.
Nice.
So, but before, literally, I just started that 2 weeks ago. But before that, Sunday, I'm meal prepping. I'm doing laundry and I'm doing all the home stuff too.
You're meal prepping?
Yeah. So I meal prep for myself and for my kids.
Wow. Any reason you ever heard of Factor and companies that?
Yeah, no.
You don't like them?
I tried Factor. I just don't like eating microwave food a lot.
Gotcha.
So I'd rather eat something I cooked and then I know what went in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I cook really good, so I'd rather eat my own food.
Ethiopian food?
Both Ethiopian food and American food.
Oh, nice.
But my kids, they eat pretty much straight Ethiopian food. So for them, I'll just make Ethiopian food. Yeah. Wow. They love it.
Wow. Yeah. You gotta
I'll bring you a sample next time for sure. Yeah. For sure.
So Sunday you're prepping. Monday you're working on brand.
Monday I'm doing my meetings, and then I'm either, so Wednesday is my big content day, and then Saturday morning. So
you're producing content
on Wednesday
recording.
and Saturday. Yeah.
Who's doing the editing and all of this stuff?
AI tools.
AI tools.
Yeah.
Which AI tools?
So video AI, Opus Clip AI, and I use CapCut.
So you're editing and you do lots.
Yeah, but it's quick. It takes me 45 seconds to make a video on using those tools. Wow. So it's like I'm barely doing anything. It doesn't make sense. I tried hiring it out and I'm paying somebody like $300 a week to do what I could have did in 30 minutes. Wow. So it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I like to write all my own captions. I like to write all my own emails. Like, I feel like my voice is the authentic voice people need to be hearing from. So I like writing my own copy. I don't believe in copywriters. I love writing in general. That's one of my... So what is my strengths, right? Creating, writing, fun stuff that I like. I do that. I don't care if I can hire it out. I do that.
You do it yourself.
I hire out sales calls, acquisitions, things that I don't like to do.
You don't like sales calls?
No, I'm not anymore. Gotcha. I did it by myself for a year and a half. I got really burnt out.
Gotcha. All right. And so you got Sunday, you're planning.
Yes.
Monday, you're meeting with your brand team that helps you with your course and all of those things.
Yeah.
Tuesday, what are we doing?
So everything else is the business. So is whatever we're doing to move the business forward.
Which business?
The wholesaling business.
Gotcha.
Training. Either like I might be getting data. I might be kind of cleaning stuff up. Talking to my team. And then I really work 5 hours a day.
Gotcha.
So I only work 5 hours a day on any given day.
But it's focus.
And it's, well, one of those hours is going to the gym. So I really work 4 hours a day.
Gotcha.
But it's focused. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So real quick. So on this content day, are you you producing 5 hours of content?
No. So I'm pretty much recording maybe for 2.5 hours and then putting it in the editor. And I mean, when you record content, sometimes you mess up. So it might take me longer or shorter, just depending. Mm-hmm. I might record something like, it looks dumb. Let me do it again. So most of the time I record using TikTok and then I download it and then I put it into whatever AI. Or I might spend some time using my old YouTube videos or my old class footage and then chopping that up too in the Opus Clip AI.
And how many content pieces are you making per day?
I try to post once a day.
Wow.
Yeah, I try to post on Reels, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok. I have the same piece of content, and then I try to put it on all 3 every day.
Gotcha.
Like today, I missed it because I was so busy all day.
Gotcha.
But when I get back to my hotel tonight, I'm gonna post something.
You're gonna put it out there.
Yeah, and I have a backlog of content. I have a lot of content that I made that I never put out.
Wow.
So I always have stuff to post.
I love this.
Because I enjoy it. It's easy to do something that you have fun with.
Absolutely. So, okay, so you produce tons of content. So you're producing about how many content pieces are you producing on that content day? How many? You got 2 content days, right?
2 content, yeah. So about like 5 each day. Sometimes I might do more. Okay. And then I try, like lately I've been trying to make sure I do a YouTube video every week too. So that might be a 10-minute video versus like a clip.
And you're doing this all on your phone?
I'm doing yes, I'm doing it all on my phone.
YouTube video?
Yeah. So I have a camera. I don't like it that much.
So you just use the phone?
Yeah. So I just pretty much just use the phone or Loom. Like I might screen record and show what I'm doing.
God, I love this.
I will use my camera. Let me not say I don't ever use it. I'll turn it on. If I'm doing something where I'm just talking and telling something, I'll use it. But most of the time I'm trying to show and teach something. So I'll use Loom.
Gotcha.
Or I'll do like selfie mode with the green screen and like,
It point at some stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So you're doing your YouTube videos on Wednesday,
and then Saturday, YouTube videos and Reels, and then Saturday I'll do some Reels too.
Gotcha. And you're doing about 5 on Saturday too?
Yeah, about 5.
Wow. So you're working every day?
No, I mean, would you consider that work really? I'm like playing on my phone while my baby's taking a nap.
No, that's work.
Okay, then
that's
so
work.
I work every day then. Yeah, Sunday I do my planning, Saturday. But I only work 4 hours a day. I'm chilling. I hang out with my kids. We go to the park.
Nah. Here's the thing. I'm helping somebody right now. This is important because what I'm hearing, what you're saying is that because here's the deal. Even I struggle with this. Focus, the power of focus is, I believe, a lot of people's strangle to the gateway to success.
Yeah.
Right? And so the fact that you're able to intentionally sit down and commit to 4 hours, 5 hours, however many hours it may be, because here's the deal. I'm gonna keep it real, and I'm not being arrogant, but my 2 hours of focus, I'm kicking so many people ass that's putting in a whole week.
For sure.
Right? Because I know when I sit down, I'm finna really think of some real creative stuff that can help me move fast.
Yeah.
The fact that you're able to commit 4 to 5 hours daily to something specific, that's powerful. Most people, if we were to line up most people, I don't believe most people can do that. Not for themselves. They can do it for somebody else. They can go work somebody else's job.
They probably won't be focused there either.
But they probably won't be focused there either. They're just going to be going through the motions, whatever, burning the clock.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, even if it was 3 hours a day of focused energy, I think that's powerful.
So for me, I guess because I came from 6 to 8 hours of cold calling, that now what I do feels so easy or feels like more relaxed. But if I wasn't virtually wholesaling, it would not be like this. I'll be going to a house and taking pictures, going to meet a seller, going to try to get a contract signed. You know what I mean? So I'll be doing the most. So right now, I think but like I said, I have loftier goals. So I feel like even though I'm able to accomplish a lot, I'm always thinking what more could I do?
So let's talk about this. What more can Tati do?
Yeah, what more can I do?
What more can you do? So 2 years, where are you going to be physically located? 2 years, next 2 years?
I would like to be physically. Yeah. So I'm not gonna say. I don't want to say I'm going to be because I want to go where God wants me to be. So if it's not this place, then it's not. But I would. What I'm interested in doing is I want to build houses.
Okay.
So where I have been doing a lot of virtual wholesale deals and land is in Georgia.
Yes.
So kind of south of Atlanta a little bit.
Yes.
And I found a lot of success virtually wholesaling there. So it's made me want to relocate there and start buying some of that land instead of just wholesaling it.
Absolutely.
And start building. So build duplexes, 4 units, whatever, and sell some, keep some, and get some cash flow going to where it's new construction. I'm not having to put a lot of work into it for a few years. And that's my 2-year plan, is to relocate and begin doing that. But I know that's a different business. So there needs to be some things that happen in my current businesses that allow me the time to learn and do that business.
So I'm gonna share some on that, because I may end up being one of your partners on one of them deals, because I want property in Georgia for sure. So one thing I'm learning is time, right? So you're in that planning phase, a lot of time in preliminary.
Yep.
Before you can even build. The build is actually quick. So I love that. So you're looking to be moved physically in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia.
Not in Atlanta, but around.
Yeah. So you'll be there and you'll be doing some type of build to rent, build to sell, whatever, right? Yeah. So what I'm doing, what I'm realizing is going to work for me is I'll buy a lot. I'll bust that lot up into like 4 or 5 different replat it, right? And the first exit strategy is going to be to sell off the lots, right, individually, and make a massive profit. That's probably one of the most profitable businesses ever that I've ever seen in my life.
One of my buyers does that.
It is the most profitable, period.
He does it in Texas.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I have one right now where I'm probably making like 3 times profit. Like it's crazy. Now, then the next era is you're going to build it and then rent it out, sell a couple, keep a couple. And then sometimes you may keep all of them. Yep. All right. So I'm loving that.
Maybe even do communities.
Absolutely. Small little communities.
Yep.
Me personally, I don't want to do anything too big because I feel like it's so many small pockets you can fit in Houston that it just makes a lot of sense without taking on long gaps of time.
What about redevelopment?
Redeveloping something that's already existed. I love that too.
Yeah.
If it makes sense.
If it makes sense.
So I love that. But yeah, so I love what you're talking about. I really may be one of your partners or investors in some of those deals if you really kick that off. So I think that's dope.
will. That's something I'm going to do. Like, that's something I'm going to do for sure. So absolutely. I've been learning. I've been, a lot of my buyers have become mentors and been really helping me understand. And that's why I'm not that person that's like, oh, I'm going to do it and I'm just going to win the first time. Like, I understand that everything has its learning curve.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking to learn and do it the right way and to not lose my shirt in the process.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You need shirts. We need shirts these days.
Need shirts. Yeah. So that's why my virtual wholesaling business is the thing that has even allowed me to do all of this.
Facts.
So I want to keep that going forever. That's how I'm going to find the land. That's how I'm going to find the deals. That's how I find deals to buy. So keep that going.
Speaking my language.
Yeah. So always keep that going.
Yes.
Always feed that fire.
Yes.
But get it to a point where even with partners and even with people getting equity and everything, we all have the same drive and vision. We're all working at the same. Yes, and that's the most beautiful vision. And then from there, building and just grow from there. Everything else that I learn, I'll implement as I learn it.
I love it. So, $1 billion Toddy.
Yes.
I like that. Are you going to do that in the avenue of real estate? Or do you not know exactly where that's going to happen? You just kind of like, look, this is me. I feel it. How do you get to this $1 billion? Where is that at?
Well, I think it's going to be a mix of the equity of real estate and then the social equity. So gotcha. I know that that building your brand regardless results in.
Are you making money with your brand?
I am.
Are you making more money in your brand than you are in real estate?
I would say it's the same some months and more or less some months.
Where are you making money in your brand?
So in affiliates, in mentorships, courses, and JVs.
JVs.
So technically that's a little bit of both. It's the business
Absolutely.
and it's the brand. So that's why I know that, from the brand comes lenders. From the brand comes partners. You said you might partner with me. You would have never known about me if it wasn't for the brand.
That is a fact.
So expanding my reach and my network inevitably is going to help me find the people that I'm going to partner with to build up to that billion. I don't think it's going to be one. I don't think it's going to be the other. I don't think it could be real estate alone. I think that the brand will help the real estate. So let's say one day, we're at the point where we can do a 250 townhome community.
Absolutely.
And we got the land because of real estate business, but we got the money because of the brand.
Absolutely.
And now that community that we developed might be worth $1 billion.
Absolutely.
You never know.
You never know.
Those are the opportunities that we have. I never thought I could do a $140,000 deal. I never thought I could do a six-figure deal.
When did you?
That was in May of 2022.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was in Georgia.
What was this?
It was a 4-property portfolio.
Wow. And you made $140,000.
That was the assignment fee.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did the buyer know that you made that money?
Yeah.
And they were cool.
Yeah. From the beginning, he said, I'm cool with whatever you guys make. This is what I'm paying for it, though.
Was it a smooth deal or was it like a headache?
So, gosh, it's so funny because it was cool. The deal was cool. But after the deal was done was when the havoc happened. Because the property manager lady, the seller was very elderly. The property manager lady kept all the tenants' security deposits and their rent. So when the buyer took over those properties, he's like,
"Yo, I need my
yeah."
deposit.
So then it was a bad look, and then we had I believe they're in litigation with her now.
Wow.
Yeah. So she did them bad, but like we were talking about earlier, when you wholesale, luckily you don't have to deal with that part of it.
That's a fact.
But of course, I felt remorseful, and I did everything I could do to help him.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, it was like I didn't know that.
It's your problem, though,
she
buddy.
represented herself as a property manager. I thought she'd be doing things the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you really was kind of like, "Yo, I'm sorry."
I called her. I did everything I could do to try to get her to do the right thing, but she didn't. And then he took over.
We've had that happen before, huh? Yeah, that's happened before a couple times.
It can happen.
Yeah,
it can happen.
It's just usually I think when it happened with us, a lot of buyers was just like, buyers is kind of cool. They just like, fuck it, all right, cool, whatever.
Yeah, and you never really believe that you can. When you say $1 billion, it sounds so lofty, but what's $1 billion? It's just 1,001 millions.
That's true.
That's it. So
tell me this though: do you believe? So you don't plan on actually having $1 billion? You want to be worth $1 billion? Yeah. Gotcha. So
it doesn't need to be in the bank account.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, and the reason why I asked that is because I know that with real estate, a lot of times when you think about $1 billion in valuation, right, that's massive, but that doesn't necessarily mean you got $1 billion in the bank.
In the bank, yeah.
Are you cool with that concept? Or, because when I think about brand, right, with brand, not saying that you won't have overhead and different things of that nature, or a brand, you really can make $1 billion. And it literally can be $1 billion in the bank.
That's why I believe that it will be both. Because
Gotcha.
I like Vina Jetty, I really love her, and I know she just got the $1 billion assets under management, which is huge, right?
Yes.
And that's a lane that, because of people like her, I'm able to see myself. Maybe it's not a fund that I do necessarily. So I'm not going to say it's exactly this or that, but I do believe it's going to be a combination of brand and real estate and the people I've been able to meet along the way because of both. Yes. And that's why I believe, like, with all my mentees that do virtual wholesaling, I highly encourage them to document their process because they never know who's going to see it and who's going to help them to the next step. It started with, one person seeing me, right? And then Brent Daniels put me on his. And then Jerry Norton put me on, right? And then more and more people will start to see me as I'm just talking about virtual wholesaling, about what I do.
Have you reached out to Vina yet?
Yeah, we talk.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we talk.
You helping her with her brand?
I'm not, but I totally would.
Yeah,
but she's so nice, and she connected me with some other girls. That's what I'm saying. Like, you just never know. Yeah. Somebody sees what you're doing, and they're like, you know what? I mess with that. You're actually doing something kind of cool. And they'll support you in whatever way they can support you. And then me being me, like, okay, imagine my first year or whatever, and I'm barely seeing what it's like to make 50K and 100K. And there's somebody who's on their way to $1 billion.
Crazy.
Who's talking to me. You know what I mean?
That
it's
is
like
crazy.
But that would never happen without a brand. So I tell everybody, record your calls, make YouTube videos, try to be creative, try to be, make the sound, do the stuff, because you never know who's going to see it as you're doing deals, though. You got to be doing deals, though. Don't fake the funk and be talking about something that you're not doing.
Some people, though, make content and it don't pop. What do you say to those people?
Well, there's a reason it's not popping.
It's a reason it's not popping.
Yeah, there's a reason it's not popping. You're not saying something interesting to people.
Gotcha.
Maybe, you know what I mean? A lot of people aren't liking the way maybe you don't have like the face for a camera, let's say, and maybe all your videos are like this. Maybe you want to be full body. You know what I mean? People need to figure out their strengths and play on those.
Gotcha. What is your strength on social media, you feel?
Communication, like being able to be really clear on the things that I say to where everyone can understand them.
And you know this by way of tracking metrics, or just how do you know where your strengths are in social media? So
it's creativity, it's studying and working on it, but also the communication. And I know that from the feedback. Like people will always be like, that was a really good message. That was very clear. And people will come to me to get mentorship once they see that I'm authentic, I'm genuine, and I can get the point across simply. You know what I mean? Without confusing you.
Gotcha. So you keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
Wow. I love that. So what's next for Toddy? What's next?
I mean, everything we've talked about, growing the virtual wholesaling business, growing the brand, helping my mentees continue to do a lot of deals, because it's not just me virtually wholesaling. A lot of people are doing this and succeeding. So continuing to give people faith that they can make money from home.
From home. Yes.
And that's really like, I'm staying focused. Those are my things. I'm not going to have shiny object syndrome. Gotcha. I'm going to stay focused. So right now I'm doing something called Rich and Remote. It's going to be a 5-day challenge. So that's something I'm doing to help people get started being rich and remote, making money from home, breaking everything down. So that's something that I'm doing very soon before the holidays. And then next year, I'm going to double down on everything I've been doing.
Love it. Where can somebody reach out to find you if they looking to, consume some of this good content we've been talking about?
Yeah, definitely. Well, Toddy Virtual is my Instagram, TADI. It'll probably be right there.
Yeah, love that. Yes, indeed.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, YouTube, everything, Toddy Virtual. And then if you're interested in being rich and remote, richandremote.com, that's where everything will be. And I'm sure they'll see me building something with you soon too.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So let's talk about this before we head out of here. Definitely make sure you are subscribed to the channel for sure. But here's the deal. What year do we see Toddy on the Forbes list saying Ethiopian American woman, first billionaire in the United States? Because you'll probably be the first, right?
First Ethiopian woman billionaire?
In America.
Yeah.
You'll be the first.
For sure. Probably.
When are we going to see this for?
I mean, someone might beat me there, right?
Well, hope not. You want to be the first.
I want to be the first.
That just sounds better.
Realistically and honestly, like that's a long-term goal.
That's a long-term goal.
It's not like I'm gonna be there in 5 years.
What year? Claim it.
You so funny. Put me on the spot. Okay.
Yes, indeed.
2045.
2045.
Yeah, give me like 20 years.
I'm looking in 2045. I'm looking at the magazine right now.
Yeah.
Forbes list.
20 years.
Toddy. What's your last name?
Tenement.
Toddy Tenement in the Forbes list. First billionaire woman, Ethiopian American. I love it. I love it. I'm claiming it for you.
I'm claiming it too, right with you.
Indeed.
Thank
you. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of No Stingy Energy Podcast with Toddy Tenement in the building. Any last words before we head out?
No, thank you for your time, and definitely like and share and subscribe.
Yes, indeed. Peace.